Meanwhile, let's...
What's going on, people? Welcome to the Flex and Rants show. We saying Rants?
Yeah, same old, innit?
Disappointing, innit? Disappointing.
Bro, not even. Like,
You expected it? Expected it?
Yeah, bruv.
You wasn't confident we'd beat Everton?
Man know the slogan already. I told you, blood. And you know what it is, yeah? We never turned the corner, bro. I said, what did I say? I said the last two games, Tottenham and City meaning nothing if we don't
Unless
beat
we get a
Everton.
thing, yeah.
I told you, bro, I've seen this fucking film so many times, bro. And this is exactly what happened. Everton, and also what I said was, passion alone won't be enough to beat Everton. Didn't I say that? I said they're gonna outwork us.
Because they weren't great, was they? They weren't. They didn't do anything spectacular.
They had one recognised midfielder in the team.
Madness.
And they all overran us because they out-passioned us, blood. I told you passion wouldn't be enough to beat Everton.
What about the lack of... Because this is my honest opinion, yeah. I don't think we were absolutely shocking. I just feel we just didn't have the tools to unlock them. I saw players trying. I saw players going into tackles. I saw players putting it about. I'm not going to say that these men weren't trying, they're down tools. I'm not saying that. Yeah. I'm saying they lacked the style of play to be able to, which has been a common theme all season, that we lack a style of play when the onus is on us.
Bro, but did I not say that? Styles make fights, bro. The way we are, we're built tailor-made to play against the big teams because they come out at us. We hoof the ball into the wings, and then James and Rashford just run forward, bro. Against low blocks, Rashford's
No
not
space
good.
to do it, yeah.
And Mourinho even said it in his analysis. That's why Marcus Rashford can't play in the 9. I told you guys, it ain't no agenda. It's because when teams don't give Marcus Rashford space to run into, apart from the hit and hope from long range, like, he hasn't got the guile to kind of work his way into tight spaces. And the same goes for Daniel James. Daniel James looks like a championship player when you don't give him grass to run into. Like, I like the guy.
Because we looked good when McTominay put that ball through and James was in. Again, grass to run into. But when it was tight... But
he's not clever like that, bro, and it's not even personal. Like, his style, like, away from home against the big teams, Daniel James is a massive asset to us. But you see, at home, you need a bit of cuteness, a bit of guile, and a bit of invention. He's not the guy, bro. He's very honest. He runs a lot, but it's just push it down the line and put the ball into the box.
He's very direct, isn't he?
Very direct and very one-dimensional. And that's not like a personal attack on him, but I just think because him and Rashford both are very similar like that, that's why we do well on the counter-attack against bigger teams. And look, man, I'm not even really a stats guy, yeah, but big up United Arena, yeah, brought this to my attention, yeah. In 2019-2020 season, Manchester United have failed to win a single Premier League game in which they've had 55% possession or more. Which
tells you exactly what we've been seeing, which is when the onus is on us and it's up to us to break a team down, we can't do it. You're talking about the forward lines and the forward players, sorry.
It's not their fault, by the way.
Because that's what I was going to say, because you look at midfield and then building from the back and just the whole pattern of play. In midfield, I mean, it's kind of like we knew this would be happening. But we said we don't have creative players in there as well.
It's not the midfield flex, because them stats tell you, yeah, that we're shit in possession. That fundamentally comes from the training ground. I said the same thing under Mourinho. Like, in possession, we are poor. There's too much onus on the players to just find a way. It's freestyle football. They're not being coached in possession. Like, we have players that are good enough in possession, on the ball, and can take care of it, but clearly they're not doing enough work on that. Like, all of this, like Harry Maguire pinging the ball into the wings straight up, bypassing the midfield and going straight into Rashford or straight into Daniel James, bruv. We play relegation football.
But I look at that and think, because, like you're saying, I think he looks at it and think, well, we don't play this way. We're not used to playing through the lines. So, I'm going.
Exactly, because
that's a reflection of what's going on there.
We're playing 2 CDMs, yeah? Why are they not dropping deep, showing for the ball, receiving it on a half turn, and we're playing out from there? Why are we bypassing the midfield? It's relegation football. That's why we do well against the bigger teams. That's why I told you, the Man City and the Tottenham, it don't mean shit. That kind of football works against 25% of the league, maybe 20%. Maybe I'm being generous with 25%, because it only works against maybe the top 5 teams / top 6. When we've got teams that sit back, say, you know what, you can have the ball there, come on, break us down. They've got nothing. It's patterns of play in the midfield. It's little things like when Lingard's in the 10, he gets a lot of stick. Guys are saying, oh yeah, but Lingard don't get assists and this, that and the other. Lingard needs runners around him, bro. He needs runners.
And also space to operate, which is why he's better on a counter-attack too. Because when I think Lingard, people got onto him yesterday and said he had a poor game, which he didn't have the best game. And a lot of players didn't have the best game.
Individually, but apart from Luke Shaw, I don't think anyone had a shit game, bro.
Exactly. But it's like, when he's in between those lines, when it's very tight, I don't think that's where we see the best of him. We see the best of him when he has that space, we're on the counter.
I think Jesse can play in tight spaces if he's got man around him, because Jesse's very good at one-touch, two-touch football. But when he gets the ball, there's no one around him. Jesse's not the kind of guy that's going to hold it, spin, and Pogba can do that. But Jesse don't have that. That's not his game. So when you fizz it into Jesse, he needs someone close to him. We saw against Tottenham, when the ball got fizzed into Jesse and then he drifted out to the left and he had Rashford there to bounce it off, then Rashford scored. But you need someone close to Jesse. But
you see with Tottenham's shape, because they never went with that packed out midfield, like, I felt like Jesse got nullified because that space wasn't there to act in. It just wasn't. They had, like you said, they had a 3 in midfield, the 5 at the back, and the space between their back 5 and their middle 3, albeit they weren't all central midfielders, but they were just guys doing a job and running around and keeping shape and being organised and disciplined. That's where we struggled, because I thought Fred got on the ball, tried.
But Fred was always tried.
Do you know what I'm saying? But just nothing came of
him.
it. It was like very predictable football. It was like, take 1 touch, take 2 shots, right? Come on.
There's no plan B with Oli.
Exactly.
And the plan A is not good enough, because the plan A only works against teams that don't respect us. What good is that? That's relegation football, bruv. He coaches like man still coaching Cardiff, bro. We're a sucker punch team. That's what we do. Even against Man City, them man had something like 72% possession in the second half. But man are saying, oh yeah, that's the best I've ever seen a team play against Man City. That's bullshit. We just look dangerous on the break. But actually, like, if Otamendi scores that header and that, bro, we could have lost that game. Like, man are too reactive out here. Like, yes, we beat Man City. It's a great result. But on another day, we lose that game. Same with Tottenham, second half, handed it in.
So they weren't good performances.
Bruv, as a whole, over the course of 90 minutes, they were great results.
Yeah.
Understand the difference between results and performances. United don't play well for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that
I agree that they weren't 2 90-minute performances.
As a whole, they were great performances because we got the result, bro. But we probably played amazing football for 30 minutes.
But in the context of our whole season, whole, like, where we're at as a team.
Exactly. That's why, like, when I said, for instance, I think that over the last 2 months, Fred's been our best player over the course of 90-minute performances. But in terms of how they've affected the game, you have to say Marcus Rashford. Because Rashford's never played well for 90 minutes. But
yeah, the way he's affected
the game, even if it's a 15-minute spell. Whereas Fred has started the game and finished the game well. So if we're looking at games in spells, then cool. In terms of spells, that Man City game is the best that we've seen this season.
That first half was unbelievable.
But United have never dominated a game start to finish. How are you giving
we were saying that from Jose.
72% possession, you know? Yeah. That's backs to the wall stuff, Lex. That's fucking relegation football. Like, I'm tired of it, bro. And the stats speak for themselves, bro. We've either drawn or lost when the team says, you know what, you have the ball, do something. So you can't blame individual players. It's not, because that means what? If we don't have Pogba to unlock doors, man, are just useless.
But this is what I'm saying about people saying, like, they're saying the players were crap yesterday, and
they weren't.
I didn't see a team that literally sat back and had absolutely no clue.
Flex, they tried.
Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah, it just wasn't. It just wasn't. It looked like they were trying to do things that they don't normally do. Because they were trying to search for a thing. I thought they tried, and Everton didn't put De Gea under great pressure, apart from when he came out and missed it, which could have been a foul on a different day, but that's a different story.
Still his fault, though.
Exactly, because if you come like that, you've got to clean man out.
Have to.
But Everton weren't popping off shots. Everton weren't getting at us. Bro. And it's the same common theme of when we do drop points, because it's not just when we lose, because we don't lose that much. We get a lot of draws. It's such fine margins. It's a stupid mistake. And also another thing is when we go 1-0 down, our team is not built to come back from that.
You know why?
It doesn't come back.
We are a containing and sucker punch team.
So we have to score in our moments.
We have to score first.
Yeah,
the difference is with the Tottenham, we scored early.
Yeah.
You know how amazing that felt to score in the first 10, 15 minutes? Because then all of a sudden it was like, all right, come out now so we can hit you again.
And we did create chance after chance in that first half an hour against Spurs until they started getting into it.
Because if we score early, teams have to come out on us. If we don't score early, we're having problems. So, like, it's a stylistic thing. It's got nothing to do with the individual players. Like, I came out... Like, I watched that game, I thought Luke Shaw had a mare. But other than that, and Lindelof looked a bit at times, but really, I don't like this attitude, yeah, that's been instilled in the players where we draw, Ollie's coming out smiling. Harry Maguire is the captain now, for some reason, coming out saying, oh, we were unlucky and this, that. No, we weren't, bruv. Like, this is some loser mentality that we've got in at the club, bro. It's like, it's kind of like mediocrity's all right now. Like, Ollie's coming out smiling, fucking Maguire saying, oh, in another day, and then De Gea's coming out with the tweet saying, oh, look at the picture. Bro, you bottled it yesterday. Nowhere, listen, if I'm the manager, yeah, anywhere on the pitch and you go in for a challenge, if you turn your head, get the fuck off the pitch, bro. You saw the picture of De Gea's come for a punch, he's looking in the goal, bruv. What are you looking at? Clean man out. You see what I'm saying?
If you make a decision to come there, you've got to get it.
You've got to come,
VAR, don't get me wrong, with how VAR is, if that was given as a foul, we'd be like, oh, that was a bit lucky, but you could maybe see.
Listen,
but if he comes there, he's got to clean them all out and get the ball. 100%.
Bro, I've had my ribs broken by goalkeepers. Goalkeepers normally come out, knees up in the air, everything. De Gea's got to come and clatter him.
And Lindelof, look, and it can always hit off you like that.
I can't blame Lindelof for that because he thought that the goalkeeper had it.
Exactly, which he should have.
And he should have.
Which he should have.
So that's De Gea's fault. Whether or not, yeah, like, don't think because De Gea's a good goalkeeper and he hasn't saved us loads of times that we can't tell it how it is. De Gea, fuck that, innit? I don't want to see no tweets like that because you're making excuses. Nah, don't make excuses. Know that you fucked up there, bro. And that's what I mean. It's too easy now. These men are comfortable. A lot of these players coming out and all this bullshit. That's why they're loving Ollie right now, bro, because it's like they're all mates, bruv. It's mediocre FC, bruv. It's not good enough.
I'm going to talk about positives as well. I know it's difficult after the disappointment of that result because Chelsea lost. We had Spurs and Wolves playing. That was very nearly a draw.
Arsenal lost as well.
Arsenal lost as well, which a lot of us would have predicted. And it, like you said, it was the perfect. We all tweeted before. Everyone was saying before the game, must win. United.
I even put out a tweet saying, "Oh, we're gonna win 3-0," and that, trying to be positive. You see what I'm saying? Even though I didn't believe it, but I said, you know what?
But the fact that we managed to get a draw, I mean, Mason Greenwood, we'll talk about him in the next section in more detail.
Man, like Gunwood, bruv, I'm telling you, shoot up.
Wicked goal. It's what he does. And like I said, we'll talk about him in the next section in more detail. But the fact that we did manage to get a draw and gain a point on Chelsea, because they did lose against Bournemouth.
Yeah.
We go to Watford next game, again, which we'll speak about near the end of the show in terms of how we approach that game. But luckily for us, because of the inconsistencies around us with the other teams, I know Spurs probably look the strongest out of that bunch, and under Jose you can envisage them going on a little run. I think they'll beat Chelsea at home as well.
Yeah.
But are we still going to be in and around fourth though? And is that not still a positive?
We will, only because everyone's doing badly. But again, remember when we finished second in the league and I said that we weren't the second best team in the league, but we finished second because everyone was so bad. And Jose tried to make out that like we deserved it when we were 20 points behind first and that. Like, forget that. Do you know what I mean? Even if we're in and around the fourth, make no mistake about it, yeah? We've had numerous chances to close gaps and we're not doing it because we're inconsistent. We're not good enough. First back-to-back victories as Ollie as a manager was the Tottenham thing. 5 months and we can't win 2 games in a row. That's a problem, innit?
So without being able to put a run together, how are we going to cement top 4? It's always going to be we're just outside it, innit?
We're always going to be thinking, yo, like hopefully Arsenal can keep playing like this. No, it's going to click for Arsenal soon enough. They're on a bad run, bro. They're going to appoint a new manager soon. And the bounce will come, bro.
It's not even just Arsenal we've got to think about. It's Chelsea, it's Spurs.
Chelsea
realistically,
will sign man in Jan.
And Spurs are stronger than us.
Chelsea will sign man in Jan. Tottenham maybe won't sign anyone in January, but
with what they've got, Jose will have them playing.
Exactly.
And picking up results, even if it ain't pretty, like the Wolves game.
This is the perfect time to go on a run. And remember, I said all them games are winnable. But
what if we go on I know we've slipped up, and I know people say, Fletch, can't keep saying next game.
Draw against Watford.
But if we do go on a little run until we play Arsenal,
we'll draw against Watford, bro. Watford are going to say, you know what, the onus is on you to break us down. And they'll probably score a set piece or something and we'll draw 1-1.
If I'm Nigel Pearson, I'm looking at the way Duncan Ferguson just set up his team. Not even just the way Duncan Ferguson. Look at the way Bournemouth set up, look at the way Aston Villa set up, look at what Sheffield United done, look what Southampton done. And I always, especially Nigel Pearson, who's a shithouse. Let's not get it twisted.
If you're Nigel Pearson, you're saying, you say, Troy, you see that Lindelof guy? Give him a nightmare. That's what you're saying. Say, sit on Lindelof.
If he picks the right team, because I think if they put Troy Deeney up front by himself, I think Maguire and Lindelof can, you know what I mean? But if they play a 2 up front...
Yeah, we're in trouble, bro.
If they play maybe a 5 at the back and change it, put 2 up front, if they stifle us, we could be in trouble.
Bro, we know Troy. Troy's a shithouse, blood. Yeah. If you put Troy on Victor, it's a nightmare in Elm Street, bruv. It is. I'm telling you, because Troy's
with support though, because I think if he's by himself,
no, but he will have support.
If Sar's going to be on that right hand side, now don't get me wrong, he's erratic and he literally kicked the air.
But he only needs.
But he can make things happen, and if he's against Shaw can be got at. You know what I mean? You might want to bring Ashley Young back in for this.
Yeah, I would.
Watford, it's his own thing. The fans will be on him and that, but again, we need shithouses, and he is a prick like that.
This is what we need, bro. Listen, they're scrapping for their lives. They've got the personalities in there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We know a few of them and they're down for the war. Don't get it twisted.
Mapp said to me, it's all out war.
War? But then, bruv, siege mentality at Watford, bro.
Listen, I said just allow us, innit? We need the points more than you.
Siege mentality.
But then technically we don't need the points more than them. They're fighting for their lives, and it's their first home game under Pearson.
We don't need the points more than them. Passion's not going to be enough to beat Watford again.
Yeah,
we're going to have to open them up and dissect them, bruv. And we've shown that we don't have that in our locker right now, bro. I can't be confident going into any of these games, bro.
You don't know what United will turn up. I think a guy said to me in the fan cams, and he was spot on, he said, Flex, anything can happen in that game. We could win, lose or draw it.
Yeah.
Innit? And that is the reality of it. We could turn up there and play on Watford's lack of confidence, get onto them, score an early goal, their heads are down, for God's sake, we're here again. And we could make it difficult for them if that type of team turns up.
Teams are most dangerous when they have nothing to lose. Watford aren't supposed to beat us. They've got nothing to lose, bro. They've got a bit.
Same with Liverpool. And look how they played against Liverpool.
Bro,
and that's Liverpool.
This is what I'm trying to say, but the difference is Liverpool have the ingenuity to kind of pull something.
There was always going to get that mad quality to, you know what I mean, Salah just do a top bins or whatever.
Apart from Ronaldo Thunderbolt.
Yeah.
What does man have, bro? Bruv, what do we have, bro?
Yeah, it's true. It's going to be a peak game. Well, we were going to talk about Watford towards the end, but yeah, to finish off on this first section, that Watford game.
It's huge, bruv.
It's massive.
These are the games I judge United and I judge Oli on. I don't judge man on the big teams because actually, we're counter-punchers, bro. We're built for that. Do you know what I mean? That's what we are. And as a big team, that can't be the only trick in your book. That can't be the only string that you've got to your bow.
I know this is sad because it's actually a true representation of where we are. We should never think like this. Or we shouldn't have to think like this as United fans. It is a bit of an arrogance thing because of how good we've been in our past, but it's a reality. I think we win or lose that game depending on how Watford set up.
Yeah.
Which is bad to say, innit? Because if we're big bad Man United,
we should be
playing against bottom of the league, we should be going, we're turning up, we got our man them in our positions, we're going to rasp these man up. They're bottom of the league with 9 points.
Yep.
That's the old school thing. But the reality is that if Pearson picks a team that is the correct team that we know we would struggle to play against, we could be in trouble. But if he plays too open and tries to go at us, then it could work into it. So I hate to say it, call me lowering the expectations. I'm just saying I don't want to think like that. I'm saying as a reality, guys, and I think you find it hard to disagree. As a reality, it's almost how the other team set up against us because the proof is in the pudding. All we can go off is evidence. That's all we can go off. We can't keep going off of the badge, the reputation, the 20 years of dominance. All of that's gone. We have to look at this team where it is and where it is now. And the evidence suggests when we played against Southampton, we were there at St Mary's. Daniel James scores early.
I think that's the most frustrating game that I've seen this season.
I don't know, I think mine would be Newcastle away.
No. I think the Southampton one was because it's Southampton, bro. Do you know what I mean? And it was cold that day, remember, bro? It was mad windy and that. My hat nearly flew off and that. Bro, listen, yeah? When you're by the coast and that, it's peak.
Awful.
And you know what? I even tweeted this yesterday. That surprises me even more, yeah, that Jose actually set up to try and play against us.
Yeah, he knows our weaknesses.
He knows our weaknesses, and he actually gave us the space to play football. Yeah. I thought Jose was going to do the shithouse thing. He still went for the diag, but I thought Jose was going to stay compact and try hit us on the break with speed from Lucas and that. And Jose actually tried to play us, and we slapped them all over the place. That common sense would have told man to do the 3-5-2 thing, stink the place out. Yeah. And bro, I couldn't believe it.
And this is what it is. So that, again, that played into our hands. So we're finding ourselves in a position now, and again, it's about evidence. A lot of teams have sussed us out. Easy. A lot of teams have sussed us out. They're not scared to play us. They don't fear us. And why should they? Why should they? You know, even when we was at the Fresh Ego event with Maps, actually, and he said, he won't mind me saying, he was like, when we used to get on a bus and go up to Old Trafford as Watford, he said, I played when it was Rooney, Tevez, Ronaldo. He said, we're going, let's keep a score down. Isn't it though? Yeah, like how a man will go City now or a Liverpool. Yeah. Boy, just let's keep everything intact, get to half-time 0-0, we can try build from there. You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
He said, no, we get on the bus. He didn't say just Man United, to be fair. This is when Watford were doing all right. He's like, we think we can beat anyone. Now, I know they're in bad form, but that's just the mentality in terms of where we are as a club and how we're viewed. So we can't have this arrogance all the time that we're going to go and beat teams. I think most of the United fan base, yeah, we're always going to be passionate, and when we arrive at the ground, we support, yeah, come on, we've got to win this, we should win this. You're going to get sucked into the thing. But I think most Man United fans know where we're at and don't think we're just going to roll anyone over, because if you do think that, where have you been living for the last 6 years? Because we ain't been that team.
Bro.
So it is about how Watford set up.
Look what we're saying, bro.
It's facts. It's all facts.
This is it.
It hurts.
I feel like I support Watford, blood, because that's the kind of attitude where it's just, man, know how you play, there's nothing else. It's not good enough, bro. It's not good enough for a club of our size, man. It needs to change, bro.
Let us know what you guys think about the first section of the show. Obviously, why we failed against Everton and only picked up a point. This turning point, this turn in the corner that we're trying to turn, that we still ain't got round the bend to see what's on the other street. I still ain't been there, I ain't seen it yet. Let us know what you think about that. And for the Watford game coming up, and Colchester United, which we haven't really talked about, could be in the semi-finals, I think, of the Carabao Cup if we win that. Yeah. You know, it'd be nice to go on a little cup run. We should be beating Colchester. Yeah. But we saw with Rochdale, come with a low block. Mason Greenwood sparing the blushes, and we'll talk about Mason Greenwood right now. Mason Greenwood, let's talk about him in depth. Let's do a little 10 minutes on him. I mean, Solskjaer, at the beginning of the season, said, to be fair to him, this guy's a bad boy. Yeah. In his Norwegian words, he said, this guy's a bad man. Yeah?
Spot on.
And he said, then he went on to say, he's the best finisher at the club. To be fair to Ollie, yes, he is.
he is.
Yes, he is. But now we're in a situation, Rants, where this kid, because he's a kid, just turned 18, is rassing up the place.
He's got to play. He's got to play.
Where does he play?
He's got to play, bro.
Exactly, because now you're looking at it like a FIFA thing. Like, oh, I just need all my best players. I need to find a way where he can just play. But where does he play and who for? How?
Bro,
should he play? Do you still think he should be coming off the bench?
He has to play. Mason has to play. I'm okay with bringing Mason off the bench away from home, but I think at home against teams that sit deep, you start Mason Greenwood, bro, because Mason Greenwood, like I said with Daniel James, he's not clever enough to he hasn't got the skill to go past people. It's a pace thing. Mason's got the little step over or the little drag inside, and he creates that half a yard to get shots off. You could start Mason on the right at home against teams that sit back. Because
we have said that his best position is a 9, and we didn't really want to see him out.
I don't want to see him out wide,
but he's proven already that his goals are coming from that side.
I think he just needs goal. I just think he needs.
He's proved he can do both.
And because he's left-footed, but he can go both ways. Yeah. You can play him in the middle, you can play him on the left, and you can play him on the right, bro. And the thing is with Mason, he just needs half a yard. Bro.
Literally.
Half a yard, and he can engineer it because he's got impeccable balance. And mad elegance, bruv. RVG, bruv.
You know what I like? You know,
Greenwood to the Euros as well. Sick. Let's push the agenda now.
Ah, easy, bruv, easy.
Man, I'm talking about Hudson-Odoi and that, bruv. How many goals and assists has this youth got, bruv?
He ain't going to get to the Euros.
Bruv, Walcott went to the World Cup, didn't do shit. Rashford went to...
You think he might...
Rashford
you think he can get to go to the Euros?
Bruv, I'm going to push the agenda. Leave it there. Rashford went to the fucking Euros or the World Cup and had done less than Mason. Mason's got, like, what, 6 goals in 6 goals?
About that, yeah. 6 goals.
Brother! Mason to the Euros. By the end of the season, I'm pushing this agenda all the way through, bro.
Who's he gonna...
Greenwood FC, we don't care who. Do you know what I mean? We don't care who goes out, innit? Because you got guys like Mount, and Hudson-Odoi. Mount's ahead of Maddison. No way, bruv. Do you see what I'm saying? So, man, are not really in this team.
And Hudson-Odoi's holding bench.
Bruv,
well, I know technically Greenwood is, but...
Hudson-Odoi is behind Mason now, in the pecking order. I don't care,
That's mad.
You have to be.
But what about the bit of, like, he's only just coming into the under-20, he's so young.
God,
forget how young.
Matter,
like, he was in the under-17s.
How old was Michael Owen, bruv? How old was Michael Owen? Because honestly, yeah...
Sancho bust when he was 18 as well, so same sort of thing.
Greenwood is looking like one of the best finishers man's seen since Michael Owen, bruv. Like, on this England gash thing. Just pure finisher. Pure. Evil foot, bro. Like, man's hitting side nettings.
He does get it right in the corner every time.
Through the man's legs on that.
What I like a lot about Greenwood is because there was a lot of comparisons to Arsenal's Martinelli, who's a good player. I think Martinelli looks good, but with Greenwood, Martinelli's like an Alexis as well in terms of like grit, always running around, is buzzing around, just has that little bit, he's a different type of player.
Different.
Greenwood, I think, just oozes elegance and class. And like his willingness, like when he gets the ball, it's like, I just want to shoot on sight.
Yeah.
I'm not dilly-dallying, half stepping and taking time, taking a touch, or trying to beat him and do this. I'm shifting and I'm banging.
Yeah, but
I'm getting my shot off.
reminds me like of Gabriel Jesus, that kind of small,
just
zipping around
everywhere.
the box.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
He's a good player, very good player.
Yeah, he's a good player, bro.
Yeah.
I like him.
Yeah, he's
you know
a
what I
good
mean?
player.
But Mason is just RVG, blood. That's what he is, bro. It's Van Greenwood, bro. Like out the feet and the whip, bro. Like,
So you're saying at the moment, is it like Dan James is getting a bit of a free ride at the moment? Like Solskjaer's made him, you can clearly see Solskjaer's like, you are the main guy. He's resting him in the games where we thought he would have started this year, which is this is no disrespect Dan James. Dan James he's done very well considering what he's come from and what he's come into. He's been a bright spark. I like what he's done, but I do agree there's patches of the game that don't suit him where he's not in the game for large periods.
If you don't give Dan James space, you've noticed he drifts in and out of games.
And off the bench against a left back who's absolutely flipping knackered.
He'll kill them, bro. Because,
it'll be fantastic.
Like you'll see games, 80 minutes, Dan James ain't in the game, but because he's got pace, like he'll always give you that chance.
Even just to try it, Rants, though, because what we have seen is James guaranteed starter every game. So maybe just to switch it up. Should we start him against Watford? Because he'll play against Colchester.
It's away from home.
So
you know what I mean?
So you don't think? But look at Sheffield United, come off the bench and.
I know, but I think away from home, Dan James suits it because he gives you the work going back that way.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
When you might
at
be under the
home,
cosh.
when teams are gonna sit back against us, Mason Greenwood, we do need to be better in possession. That would suit Mason, but Mason has got the cleverness to come short. And then he can do the little step over, come inside and maybe slide a pass in. He's got way more to his game. And he's got Manchester United temperament, bro. Mason bags goals, bagged the equaliser and just jogged back to the thing. He's like, I do this every week.
Calm, he's calm.
Like, man scored 16 in one goal in one game and that. But Mason is a gunman. Daniel James done the little Super Saiyan thing, bruv, when he's celebrating the equaliser. And Mason's a little youth, bruv, like, what, 3 years younger than him? And he's like, come.
Yeah. Because scoring goals is so natural to him. Yeah, so natural to him.
It's normal. He's a real gunman, bro. Like, in terms of talent, like, I guess Greenwood up over a year ago, like, and especially when he tore Chelsea apart in the Youth Cup, and man were like, nah, like, I don't like to rest my hat on certain man like that.
It's very difficult to rest hat on any youngster because you don't know.
Since Pogba, I haven't been as excited about a youth product. Like, he's that good.
I think a lot of people would echo that. Yeah, and like we always keep saying it, and it's not to try and push an agenda in terms of comparing him to Rashford, but
I'm pushing it. But that's the heir to Harry Kane's throne, blood, for England.
But at the time when Rashford was breaking through, I don't believe he was making the noises that Greenwood was making in terms of, you know how everyone talks about Greenwood, there's this guy coming through 4 years ago, they're saying from when he was young, he's just running through and doing the thing.
If you're honest, you'd never heard of Marcus Rashford, before LVG brought him through. I had, but they weren't making noise about it.
It wasn't like he's definitely going to get to the first team really soon, and like Rashford exploded onto the scene because he took his chance when we had a lot of injuries. I don't think that was supposed to be his breakthrough season.
He was behind Keane in the pecking order, bro.
This is a proper, with Greenwood, it's a proper organised pathway. Like, he came on for little tiny bits and pieces last year. He started the last game of the season when it was all done and dusted, and we lost. And I remember he hit the post against Cardiff last game. He should have scored then. There were little things, and we knew that this would be the actual breakthrough season. It's like rubber dusted. Like Solskjaer said, he scored goals this season.
If man watched the reserves, before we had Wilson that got the gas, and he didn't do it. Before that, we had like Giuseppe Rossi and Sylvain Blake that were doing bits and scoring bare goals. Giuseppe Rossi was bagging up.
He was wavy.
Then he came into the first team and didn't really get that opportunity because of who was there. But like, all of these, man, I've had hype, innit? Wilson had the hype, didn't cut the mustard.
Like loads of loan moves, kept going up, kept coming back, it wouldn't work out.
Greenwood, the gas around Greenwood for years.
It was legit.
Look, Rashi never had that kind of gas. And because Rashi's been able to play around good players and grow into his role, understand, like, footballing ability and the level, like, just up here, his movement and the understanding of the game. Mason plays like he's 25.
He does.
Bro.
And you see when you see Mason, I look, like the way man just walks on it, I'm thinking, right, this dude looks flimsy. Like, he don't look like he can really do
He's got that
He's that guy.
Build,
do you know what he's like? He's that guy where I think, like, you see on a Saturday league or Sunday league, you know you just eye up the opposition when man pull up in the car park. and they got in the bag. You think, man can't even walk straight, but I'm going to have him up. Centre-backs and that going, I'll have this shoe up. He's got the little kid and play high top thing. Looks a bit soft, you think, you know what I mean?
And he doesn't sprint, he glides across the pitch. That's why he's got the
he just comes, the game starts, and the game finishes and the centre half's like, fuck, you know, mate. He's a player,
like,
isn't he?
He's banged a hat-trick, yeah, no sprints on that. Man just done a little chop inside.
And he puts his kit straight back in the thing, so you don't need to wash, man.
Yeah,
I ain't break
mad.
sweat.
Bruv,
It's calm.
bruv.
It's
Mason
calm.
is the guy and he does not run.
Yeah.
And no one don't call him lazy either, bruv.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that in a second as well.
You see what I'm saying? So,
let us know what you think about Mason Greenwood.
pure elegance, bruv.
Should he be starting more games? Should he start the next game? And where does he fit in when he does start? Just to finish off on this bit, actually, someone was saying, and we were talking about, I think it was Ricky, after the last game against Alkmaar, he was saying, like, after Greenwood scored those 2 goals, he's like, he would like to see maybe Martial play off Greenwood.
Them two play together, they'll complement each other, because Martial drops deep, turns and whatever, and he slides the ball through Greenwood.
Could we see Martial adapt to that, maybe?
Them two would be beautiful, like, in a 2. I'd love to see that.
Let us know what you guys think. And then just carry on. All right. So this bit would be a little bit on the Martial thing, then questions, yeah? In one bit. So literally 5 minutes on the Martial thing. Another player I want to talk about is Martial. A lot of people said he had a poor game the other day, and even just from not at the Everton game, Mark's tweets were interesting. He was saying that a lot of people call him Martial lazy. Sometimes it can be seen as like derogatory towards black players. But away from that, where's the energy for calling like Matic lazy, or not so much McTominay because he does buzz about, but do you know what I mean? Other players lazy, or English players lazy. Do you think there's a misconception with Martial because he doesn't run around how Rashford does, that when he has that kind of expression, this come from some of Giggs's comments as well, in terms of that when he's good, but when he's not, he looks disinterested and looks like he could be lazy, etc., etc. Is there a misconception with Martial that he just plays football more smartly, or does he need to do more?
He does play football more smartly, but you know what? It's a British ignorant thing, innit, bruv? Like, they do it with footballers all the time. And the thing is, Zlatan never ran around. I never heard no one call Zlatan
I didn't see Pirlo keep running around everywhere.
They didn't call Zlatan lazy, you know? They never called Van Persie lazy. Van Persie never used to press man and run around. They didn't call him lazy, but when Martial plays like that, all of a sudden he's lazy, bro. But man's got 18 fucking 10 goal and assists in the last 13 or 14 games, bro. So he's contributing. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not his style of play. If you want a blue ass fly, that's why these men love Daniel James. I saw some tweets saying, oh, like, I'd take Daniel James over Neymar and that. These fucking passion merchants, bruv. That's what they are, bruv. Brexit FC, bruv. On fucking, on Twitter. Because that's what it is. They like these man. That's why Scott Parker was in the England team ahead of Michael Carrick. Because he's a passion merchant, bruv. That's what it is. It's a British thing. It's a joke. They man that just run around with zero end product and say, oh yeah, but at least he worked hard. Fuck that. Give me Dimitar Berbatov.
Yeah, because Berbatov didn't run around everywhere.
Give me Berbatov over all of these fucking passion merchants that run around.
I think if you know football, there's nothing wrong with criticising a player. Absolutely not. Especially if it's your opinion.
Calling a man lazy with no statistics
to back it up. That's what I'm saying. It's
lazy
silly
and ignorant.
But if you know football, you look at strikers, yeah, and you look at what the best do. Lewandowski doesn't run around every single place.
Not at all.
Do you know what I'm saying? So there are certain types of striker who know, I'm staying within the width of the 18, I don't need to go nowhere. I might drop off the front, come receive it, spin. Don't get me wrong. I think that Martial, which Solskjaer did say, because he's still young and needs to improve himself, can make second runs and third runs and get better at that. But he's not lazy. I wouldn't say he's lazy. I think with his how he looks and his face, his expressions, he has his arms like, you see like normal people, like our arms are by our sides. Martial's are facing backwards. I don't know if you've noticed that. He kind of has that hung dog
just a bad
thing.
man.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's just how the kid is.
No,
it's just how the guy is.
You know what it is, brother? Again, it's a lot of people like don't like what they don't understand, innit? Martial just looks like a normal youth to me. But you know what I mean? When you're one of those players, and especially with black players, they're always quick to label attitude and this, that, and the other, and all of that.
Especially because of where it's come from in the history. I think what I wouldn't say, as a black person myself, I wouldn't get into saying, if a white person calls a black player lazy, you are racist. I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, but
what I would say is because that word has been
charged,
has come from that. I think if you are gonna say that about a black player, you have to understand that it can be offensive.
Bro, man called Pogba lazy even though Pogba tops the running stats. every season. But they call man lazy. Every time they're talking about Pogba, it's always physical attributes. He's one of the most technical, gifted footballers on the planet, bro. Find another player that's two-footed like Pogba, can dribble like Pogba, can pass like Pogba, is good in the air, can tackle, can do everything.
Good technical attributes.
Bruv, his technical attributes.
It's not all about physicality. Which was back in the day when racism was rife. Not that it isn't now.
Yeah, because man
it was. That's what used to be associated.
Blood, and it's still the same.
That's what used to be associated with black players.
Bruv, it hasn't
they're
changed.
quick, they're strong, but they ain't got it up here.
Yeah, it hasn't changed.
Do you know what I mean?
And this is the thing with the attitude thing with Martial, bruv. As I said, why don't you talk about Luke Shaw's attitude? Because, bruv, like, you're a professional footballer, you can't stay in shape, bro. That comes down to attitude, yes or no? It does. Take your craft seriously, bro. But no one talks about Luke Shaw's attitude when he's overweight. But man want to talk about Martial's attitude because
not even just a black thing. Is it? Like, well, I was gonna say more of a foreign thing because in terms of like the English players don't get labelled lazy.
It is a foreign thing as well.
Or is it because they just run around?
It is a foreign thing as well, but think about it. Look, with Rashi works fucking hard. He runs his socks off. But that's because he's British. That's how men are taught to play football here. In the academies, they're always like, go on, work.
So it's like a cultural difference in football.
Of course.
Yeah.
Whereas Martial's from Clairefontaine, these men just, they're technical ballers, bro. Like, it's not everyday blue ass fly, bro. It's all about efficiency.
I think it's important to say as well because I know a lot. This isn't about you're just protecting Martial because he's your favourite player, or we're talking about this in its entirety. This could be Tammy Abraham. We're talking about. This could be. Any striker struggles,
in this Manchester United team because they don't get service, bro. And actually, when Martial got the ball into his feet, he was holding
I thought he did all right.
He did, but the thing is, because he didn't get a lot of the ball, the instant thing is to blame the strikers. But none of the attackers were at fault for the game against Everton because Rashford, James and Martial were all starved of the ball. All of them are starved because we don't play good enough in possession.
But whereas when we're starved of the ball, when the ball goes to the left, when the ball goes to the left centre back, literally Rashford will put his head down like he's actually in a race to get there.
You can't do that.
Martial will kind of just come across, so then maybe he can't pass back across that way. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
Because that's just his style of play.
It's just a different style of play.
You put Martial in another team, man are saying, oh yeah, he's one of the best players in the league, one of the best players in Europe in his age group. But this Manchester United team plays with no cohesion, no fluidity. And him and Pogba are always the scapegoats.
There's a reason why Martial's a fan favourite at Man United as well.
Because
and most people know.
Man know his talent, bro.
Most people, he's got his own song. He's a big fan favourite.
Even when he's not playing,
and I know his talent. I think the biggest annoyance is because we know how much ability he's got. We want to see it consistently, but guess what?
But
in this United team, we don't put consistent performances together. We don't play consistent patterns of play.
You can't expect consistent performances from any player when the team can't play consistently.
Exactly. Every footballer. If they got elite mentality, we'll always want to improve. We'll always need to improve. So we're not saying Martial is complete because he's not. He's still got gears to go up. He still needs to show us more. I get that, but we're just talking about this narrative that he doesn't care and he's lazy and he's disinterested. I just don't buy that all the time. There's times where I think he could have busted a gut a bit more there. I get that, but by and large, I think he does the simple things really well, and it goes under the radar a lot. Because we've seen when Rashford plays there, them simple things don't happen.
Yeah, they break down.
You know, so that's not a criticism on Rashford. It's just, again, looking at players' attributes and stuff like that. Let us know what you guys think about that. All right, question time. Just to let you guys know, as we're doing this, the Europa League draw is live as well. So Josh is going to keep us up posted with that.
Cool.
First question, Rants, is what's your take on that Moise Keane situation yesterday?
Duncan Ferguson's a shit house, bro. Honestly, you see people like Duncan Ferguson, bro.
Man said it's to waste time.
Bro, he's a prick.
What? 30 seconds?
He's a prick, bro.
It wasn't even like the 92nd minute or something like that. I'd say, all right, cool. He's been on 20 minutes now, this guy, Moise Keane.
You see them kind of British managers there, yeah? You see them kind of British managers? Those are the same man, yeah, that are on Twitter giving it large, bruv. Do you know what I mean? To Martial and them, man, the fucking Brexit FC, bruv. He's a cunt, bruv. There's no, bruv, Moise Keane has left Italy, yeah, where man's been treated badly, this, that, and the other. Everton are like, yeah, we're gonna look after you, and that. You put him in the hands of that fucking twat. Look what he did, bro. He didn't even put an arm around him.
He brought him on, so he maybe had the best intentions, but to take him off like that.
He didn't even put an arm around him.
He just let him walk off, didn't say anything, yeah.
Even Mourinho's a shithouse, yeah, but when he had to substitute...
Does it matter?
No, Mourinho, yeah, he done it with Matter, and he apologised publicly.
Yeah, and he done it to Dyer as well the other day.
And Dyer, and he apologised to Dyer.
But that was just coming off at half-time, I think.
Exactly. and gave man and put his arm around him and said, "Oh, you know what, lad? Like, boom, I've done it."
Someone had to go, but the team got to come
He didn't
first.
even turn around, bruv.
Yeah. How he must have felt going back into that change room.
He must feel this big.
Even United fans were going, "Oh, that kid must be injured." But so for him to get into that changing room,
brother.
when everyone's out there, he'll be sitting in that changing room, probably head in his hands, thinking, "What the fuck's this happened here?"
Duncan Ferguson, bruv, and any manager like him, that's a disgrace,
that wasn't nice.
bro.
That wasn't
He didn't
nice.
even turn back to kind of have a word with him or put his arm around him and say, "You know what, this is why I done it." No explanation, no nothing. Then he was like in the thing, "Oh, I tell him when I see him."
Yeah.
You're a prick, bruv. Like, man, know people like him. Do you see what I'm saying? Nah, fuck Duncan Ferguson for that, bruv. He absolute shithouse, bruv.
Why are the players not being coached to break down a low block system, says @James with a bunch of numbers after that?
Well, he ain't got it in his locker, mate. He ain't got it in his locker, bro. I'm telling you, bruv. And you know what? He actually is a PE teacher. Man pulled out the folder for Mason. You see the folder that man pulled out with the little Lego things. What a joke. And you see Mason was like...
No, but you see that though.
Mason was bored. You saw Mason,
There's
innit?
two sides to that.
Nah, listen, Mason flipped this way, flipped back.
Yeah, he went through all of them.
It.
He went through all of them and he went, "Fuck that, I'm going to go and do my own thing."
Yeah, he wasn't reading that. Mason was like, "Listen,
But it is common where you see players about to come on all the time. Pep does it. You've seen people get the
normally
thing
the manager
go
starts
thing.
to talk to them, and Mason.
But
was
it's like,
"No,
but I
just give me the
don't. Why it
folder,
looks
man."
so weird? It was like Ollie went, "Right, mate, have a look what's on the menu and see what dessert you want."
And Mason went.
He's a shit, mate.
Mason was like, You saw what he done. He went back. Then he went back.
Then he closed the book.
He's
like, "Nah, I'm alright."
What is this? He's like, "I'm Mason
Do you know what? If there's ever
Gunman
something,
extraordinaire.
if there's ever something you don't want to see happen,
it's horrible,
to
isn't it?
go against, like, "Oh yeah, Ollie's doing a great job," it's that.
It's that. That means
It just, even if there's nothing in it, it just didn't look good.
What have you been doing all week in training that you needed to give him that folder? Like, what have you been doing? Do you know what I'm saying? Big up United Stand FC as well, and the chairman, man, like Goldbridge, blood. You know the ones there. Like, literally, like, last game, yeah, we won our last game. The footage is coming soon, bruv. So look out for that, guys, man, because our football team's doing well, yeah? We were sitting down with Ash here on the sidelines, and literally, first half, I said to him, "You're coming on at half time, yeah? Just literally, you're coming on the right wing. Just look at the space, this, that, and the other. That's all you need to do, bruv. You don't need to be coming out with no folders and being like, "Oh, look, so this is what..." Bro, here's one I made earlier, bruv. What is this art attack?
Art attack. I was just about to say that. Art attack, bro.
Ollie's not
Man,
serious.
like Neil Buchanan FC, bro.
Man are calling him the PE teacher. That's why man pulled out the full illuminated folder, bruv, with the plastic sheets and that. Oh man, Mason was not having a bar.
EdXL GCSE PE assessment.
There was nothing in that folder that said take it inside and wrap it bottom bin. There was nothing there, read it like jolting.
Phil Carvalho says, thoughts on Diogo Dalot. I think Dalot can come back in if he can get some fitness. I think he could play right wing.
Yeah, he can. But I think he could play right. I think he could play left back. I'd rather see him play left back than Luke Shaw, to be honest. I like Dalot. I do like him. I think Ollie doesn't like him, but...
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's going to get much game time.
I think that it could be his fitness why he's not getting game time, you know? Like, he could be injury prone.
He's had, well, we bought him with an injury.
He's talented.
He's had a couple of injuries since he's come.
And because he had the knee that he had before, and boy, I know better than most, but once the knee goes, then you start getting muscle injuries and stuff like that. He could be one of them players that can't stay fit. But fingers crossed, because I'd like to see him at left back, because I think that there's a genuine place for him there. Like, well, I keep saying, "Oh, we need a left back," but I forgot that he.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he played left back for Porto.
Jack A. Goodwin says, if in brackets when Leeds come back to the Premier League, do you see the rivalry being? Who have we got?
No, I haven't.
Oh, I heard Josh just because Josh is doing it.
Portugal's already out the equation.
Oh, is it?
Sporting versus Espanyol.
Oh, I want to go somewhere hot. Because I'm saying, you know what, me and Josh got to travel there. I don't want to go to cold Germany. I don't want to go to like cold France or Holland.
Cold. Like,
I don't want to do it. I want to go. Like, is a Greece team in there or something? I want to go somewhere hot. Go iron up on the way or something.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Sorry, the question is, if and when Leeds come back to the Premier League, do you see the rivalry being as intense as it once was?
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course.
Bruv, I was
if Leeds, especially because I haven't been in there for so long. Huh?
We went when we
Oh,
were pre-season.
I thought you said we're going Australian Europa League.
No, the other side of the world.
Yeah.
And it was kicking off.
It was kicking off, fam. On pre-season friendly in Perth.
bro. I was giving it to the Leeds fans last playoffs. Remember when I was like, yeah, bro. Them man were like, yeah, what you lot watch when you come to Ellen Road?
Yeah.
And I was like, not this year. You know that? You man
I think they will go out this year.
Yeah, I want them to come up. To have them back, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Go into their ground, tough.
Beautiful.
You know what I mean? Tight ground, old school rivalry that is, man.
Go there and rap them, bro.
So that don't get it twisted. No matter how many years they ain't been in the Premier League for, that would enhance it.
Yeah, the rivalry hasn't died.
He's in this guy's face.
The rivalry has not died, is it?
At Lengalengs, at Lengalenges. Did I say that? I just really want to know how to pronounce that. Apologies if I got that wrong. I definitely got that wrong. Smalling and Lindelof or Maguire and Lindelof?
That's a hard one, bro, because Maguire and Lindelof I'm not infused by them two together. Neither of them have pace, and Maguire's better at attacking the ball, but I just think they don't complement each other. I think that Maguire needs pace next to him because he's too slow. So Maguire and Smalling would have been brilliant, to be honest.
It does look like it would have worked.
Yeah,
which is weird. They made their decision that Tuanzebe was going to be the next best centre back, and Lindelof was going to be the top one. That's the decision they made. This is from Instagram. This is from Hamza Faza. He says, if United go and get Haaland, which looks like it could happen.
Yeah, Ornstein has spoken, bro.
What happens to Martial?
H money, bruv. Haaland.
What happens to Martial?
Nothing happens to him.
But you just Ollie to change the shape instead of just playing him.
I don't think Ollie's going to change the shape, but I don't think Haaland's just going to come in and just be playing week in, week out. I think that he'll ease Haaland in because Haaland's a young guy.
If he comes.
He's coming.
If he comes.
He's 19.
If he comes, Rants.
He's coming, bro.
Rants.
And also...
Rants.
I said...
You don't know that.
No, Flex, he's coming.
You don't know that.
Also, yeah.
For God's sake.
Also,
yeah, when Haaland signs. I told you.
Haaland's
said.
Haaland's coming. And also...
How do you know?
I thought, yeah.
No.
Ornstein has spoken, so that means he's coming. Just like Arteta's coming to Arsenal. Do you know what I'm saying?
You don't know.
Just like Man United, we're going to make 2 signings.
Exactly. When you said, we're good, you said to... Exactly, it wasn't Ornstein and you were dead set we were going to sign 2. We didn't even sign 1.
But that's because man had the intel, blood. But it's not my fault they don't want to play for man. But Haaland wants to play for Ollie. I don't know why, but he does. Do you know what I mean? So it's just one of them things.
To be fair, you wasn't a big fan of him. You were saying why we're going to get him Lukaku 2.0.
He is Lukaku 2.0 with a bit more tech, bruv. He makes the same kind of runs. He's a similar, like, brutish player, but he's more technical.
Are you not getting the goals he's got?
We're not going to Portugal.
Oh.
Bro, like, honestly, I wasn't a massive fan, but, like, he's something different, innit? So, for 17 million, cool. Like, I'm willing to gas man up for the cause.
and crumble spectacularly, like, go down fighting.
But that's what I'm saying, and if it doesn't work out, bruv, then it is what it is, do you know what I mean?
Because you know the clip art brigade will be ready.
Yeah, but for 17 million, like, I'm willing to gas man. I don't think he's going to come straight in, start banging goals. I think that Solskjaer will actually finally have a plan B, because he's a different kind of player. He's a brutish kind of player, like, he can shithouse, but he's a bit technical as well, bruv. So, I think that Martial still starts. I believe that Haaland will come in, and also I think that first I thought that it might stifle Mason's development a bit, push him down to 3rd in the pecking order, but I think we might see more of Mason from the right. Okay,
last question before we wrap it up. Coric83 says, are United fans still living in the past and asking for too much too quick?
No, I don't think they are.
Good question.
I don't think United are asking for too much too quick, because our net spend over the last 2 summer windows has been 53
Let me ask you this
65 million. It's not too much to ask.
What are we asking for? So for people, because for rival fans, some rival fans say to me, you United fans, man, you think you got this God-given right to win. Some United fans think you got God-given right to win all these games, beat these teams. It isn't like that anymore, etc., etc. What are we expecting as a fan base then?
When man say God-given right, listen, let me tell you why we do, yeah? Because we're the biggest club in the world, yeah? On paper, financially, whatever, facts. We've got the highest turnover. We don't behave like that. If we spend like Barcelona spend, Real Madrid spend, we'll be there or thereabouts in terms of winning stuff. It's inevitable, bro. So based on where we stand amongst the footballing elite in terms of our power, we deserve to be there. We should be
But
there.
With the players that we have now...
No, forget that, though. Because the reason why we're getting annoyed is because our net spend shouldn't be 50 million a season. It should be.
So that's where the anger's directed.
It should be 150, 200 million a season. That's what our net spend should be. Because if we spend like a team that wants to win things, we will win things, bro.
So let me clear this up. With the team that we have now, which has a lot of average players...
We don't have a God-given talent right to be winning stuff with the players we have now, but we could all argue,
but to aspire to win, we always have that.
We should never lower our standards. A lot of these Manchester United fans have lowered the standards, and then for fans like me, who want what's best for the club and want the club to be winning, they're saying, oh well, like you're being spoiled. No, I'm not, bro. Like, man's literally got the biggest club in England, one of the biggest clubs in the world, have the spending power, have the pulling power, and we're behaving like we're Everton in the transfer market.
But what about looking at, like, if there's a rebuild, and which we're saying this is and has been, and it's a massive rebuild, had to get loads of players out there, how could we expect it to be anything quicker than 2 years?
The reason why is because it's not a proper rebuild. It's just like, for instance, if I'm starting a clothing line or something like that, before I start my clothing line, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to research certain brands that I like, see how they're structured and how they do their business. Manchester United is not set up like a fucking Barcelona or anything. The infrastructure's not there. How can you expect to have the same output and compete with these teams if at first you don't structure your machine to work like all the other successful ones? There's a lot of examples of successful teams out there. We don't look like one off the
that are like a lot smaller clubs than us.
Well, there you go. So that's my fucking problem.
Okay, so it's not this whole just because we're Man United, we should. Who we got?
No.
Will you stop fucking doing that? We don't give a shit about Arsenal, bro.
But I give a shit about Greece, fam. So,
Oh yeah, because
you ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
You gotta go Man.
It's all right. When we're in the Champions League, man, I go and fucking new camp. See you there, bro.
Or pre-season tour, bro. Go America.
10 years, man.
Yeah, that's it, bro. Within 3 years, we'll be.
So
in the Champions
Olympiacos is gone, yeah. All right, cool. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying, bro.
Manchester United.
Oh, okay. So we've got the draw now. We've got the draw. We're just
Is it
waiting.
at home?
Don't know. It'll just be. They'll just say ties to be played on whenever. Who is it? Uzbekistan, Karabag. A Karabag in it? I don't know.
I don't know. The line is. They just said Manchester.
Oh, for God's sake.
It's
I think while we're on this video, I don't think we're going to actually get the draw done because Man United still haven't been pulled out the hat yet.
But
So
we're not built like an elite club above, and that's why a man could be angry because we have the resources. We just haven't been structured properly. So any United fan that thinks that we deserve to be at the top or thereabouts, I'm 100% with you. We do deserve to be there.
Because we have everything with the right decisions being made.
Absolutely.
To be able to.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. Rants, before we finish off, 2 games coming up. Colchester and Watford. Give me your score predictions.
3-0, we'll beat Colchester.
Yeah.
Rashford to score. I feel like...
You think he'll play against Colchester?
I think he'll come off the bench, maybe.
You think?
I think so. I don't think Rashford don't get any minutes, bro. Like, I think man needs to keep his form up.
Bet you don't play.
But then if he don't, then we're just going safe and say Greenwood. Because
Greenwood will play.
Then Greenwood bags, innit?
It'll be that same team that pretty much was like against Partizan. It'll be like Matic will come in, Greenwood, Chong.
I just feel like Colchester are going to come and do the physical thing, though. Do you know what I'm saying?
Who have we got?
Club Rouge.
Oh,
Is that
you have to
Belgium?
go to Belgium. That's cold still.
Yeah, it is cold.
Yeah.
Still.
It is cold.
It's crap, man.
Yeah, another Greenwood goal.
So Manchester United got Club Brugge, yeah?
Cool.
There you go. There's the Europa League draw. What does that mean? What's your thoughts on that?
Bruv, we're going to win the Europa League. I said it. Pogba. Cup final goal for Pogba and that. Swear down, bruv. We're going to win it.
That is so particular.
Propaganda
that you got
FC, blood. We're going to win it, bruv. We're going to win the Europa League.
Okay, all right. And then Watford?
I said 1-1. I'm going to stick to that, bruv.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Don't think we'll get the win?
No.
Got me one.
Brother. Nah, I don't. Yeah, I mean, I don't. It's away from home, and it's against a team that are gonna shithouse us and gonna allow us to have them.
You're gonna try any scumbaggery? You're gonna try and get hold of Deeney or try and get hold of Gray?
I don't think we can get in their heads right now. They're focused, man. Like, Troy's been out injured for a while, and he's just happy to be back in it. So, like, can't get into his head, bruv. Andre, no chance.
I'll try and get
Maps,
into Maps.
maybe. They can rattle Maps a bit. Like, I think out of the 3 of them, I think he's the most likely man can rattle still. But I just don't know. I just don't see it. These guys are up.
Have a day off, man. To start the revival after next week, please. Yeah. I actually want you lot to stay up. I want Watford to stay up. I like Watford. I think they've got good players. And even me being from Luton, like, I probably shouldn't say it, but I don't really care because I don't really follow Luton like that. I wasn't born in Luton, but I do like Watford as a team, a Premier League team
we
anyway.
Want them to do well. Just
and they got players that, you know what I'm saying, that are decent players. So,
bruv, but we don't want them to do well against us.
No, just have, like, I'm all for it, Pearson and all that, but just make sure you fuck up this week. Start the revival next week. Anyway, Rants socials.
At Rants and Rants on Twitter and Instagram for all your trolling needs. And yeah, look out for the United Stand FC footage as well. We're going to start giving you regular content as well. And the context of that thing with Asher is because he came off the bench and he bagged 2 goals, blood.
So what are you now?
Rant and all, blood. I told you at the wheel, bro. You know that one. Told man, bruv, Rants Guardiola, fam.
Do you remember one time?
Bro, I'm a tactician.
No,
Wait till these man see the AFTV game, yeah? The substitutions on that. Rants is a tactician, you know. Don't think that man just sits here, yeah? And just says these things without implementing it. You're going to see the saucy football that man play, you know. Like, Rant and all, bruv, at the wheel.
That one time, me and Rants were finishing at Old Trafford, and Rants was like, yeah, because Ollie's doing... Look at me with the United Stand team, man. I'm a way better coach. Bro, I said, Rants.
Facts, bro.
Just because you did well right with the United Stand team, it doesn't mean you could be on a touchline at Old Trafford.
The reason why I don't have my pro license is because I don't have 12 grand to throw at that year just so I can go for it, not even get interviews, bro, because there's no black managers. You know, like that, Flex.
So,
I've got my FA license.
Can you coach a professional team?
I don't have the badges.
No, I know on paper you ain't got the stamps. I'm saying, there's Rants in his head believe that he can coach a professional team. Could you coach Man United?
Oh, not right now. I could coach a pro team. Of course I could, bro. Man's got the football knowledge, B. And you know what? I'd get a good team around me as well. I wouldn't be like Ollie and having like McKenna and Carrick and that, bruv. I'm bringing in real men that know Wagwan, bro. Do you see what I'm saying, bruv? Like,
I love asking Rants these questions.
Bro, I could coach a pro. Of course I could.
You know what?
Bro.
No, I don't care what anyone says about you. Yeah,
I'm a bad boy coach.
No,
listen. You man are gonna see.
No, what I'm gonna say is, if you're like Marmite to a lot of people, you are, and I hate Marmite.
Yeah.
But
I love it, mate.
But one thing no one can doubt about you is your personal inner belief that you can conquer anything.
Bro,
that is what you need in this life.
Bruv, I could do anything.
That is what you need in life.
Literally, bruv, if you don't believe it, then no one will, cuz.
True.
Do you know what I mean? Did Ollie ever think in his wildest dreams he could be Manchester United manager after managing Mulder? Do you understand what I'm saying?
So that's giving you hope.
He went home, he got into bed, he was like, one day.
Bro.
But you know, remember, you see that this time, not this time last year, but before he came, he had Rashford's shirt on the TV.
You see what I mean?
Because he's watching it as a fan, like, he had Rashi.
Bruv, listen, even as a player, he was a sub, bro. Like, he was a side man, really, when you think about it. He was 4th choice striker, yeah? And now he's Manchester United manager. How the fuck does that happen?
Because he's a legend.
But only because he scored that 1 goal.
No, because he scored loads of goals. He's the best super sub ever in history.
Bro, so what? He's more of a legend than Cole and York. He is, though. Only because of that 1 goal. He is. No one talks about Cole and York.
I wouldn't say that.
No one talks about Cole and York.
Nah, that's not fair. I wouldn't. Yeah, nah, that's.
They do.
Yeah,
and same with Teddy Sheringham as well.
Because what their man did in the semi-finals and quarter-finals of that.
Man don't talk about Sheringham with the same vim as Solskjaer, even though Sheringham was a better player.
Tottenham waste, man.
But it's because Ollie scored that goal. That's what I'm trying to say. And now
Ollie was a good striker.
He was a beautiful finisher.
He was a bad boy striker.
Bad boy finisher, but he was a sub. Let's not make no, like, he wasn't what...
Yeah, because it was perceived that...
Exactly. He wasn't what Gary Lineker was for Tottenham.
No, it wasn't those levels.
He wasn't
But he's a wicked striker, man.
He wasn't what Rooney is for
man
or whatever. But I'm saying, he was the equivalent of... That man was a benchman.
Yeah.
And now he's the gaffer.
And he was... I think why people respect him so is because he was... Not happy, well, he was happy with that because he stayed and did it. But he was so happy to play for Man United, like you said.
Professional football starts, in the conference, blood. Bruv, I know that I can manage a professional team. I don't give a shit, bro. And you're going to see the level of the United stand in that, bruv. Like, man's not saying I'm Guardiola, but what I'm saying...
Yes, you are. You said that. That's what you said.
But what I'm saying is,
you said Rants Guardiola is what you said.
Like, man can analyse a game from the sidelines and make decisions and that. And you'll see that
I've been there.
And you'll see that in the footage, bro.
I've seen some good decisions.
Bro, man knows football, innit? Man can chat shit all they want, but the facts are man knows football, B. You're going to see.
Anyway,
at the wheel,
the socials. I'm FlexUTD across all the socials as well. Make sure you check me out there. More importantly, make sure you're following the United Stand across all of the socials. Drop your views in the comments and the boxes about everything we've spoken about today. And we will see you guys, hopefully, after 2 wins.
After Mason hat-trick against Colchester. Mason Euro 2020, blood. Push the agenda, guys.
Peace.
Big thank you to you guys for watching the latest of our videos. And if you want to check out more, make sure you do that just to the right of me. We are the biggest and best Manchester United channel in the world. Make sure you check us out on all of the socials as well. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and YouTube. The socials are along the bottom. Peace.